Students, welcome to another class of engineering mechanics. So today we'll take down another problem related to friction. So the question is, a uniform bar AB 10 meters long a uniform bar AB 10 meters long, weighing 280 newtons, is hinged at B and rest upon a 400 Newton block at A, as shown in figure. If the coefficient of friction is 0.4 at all contact surfaces, full stop, find the horizontal force P required to start the motion of the 400 Newton block. Okay, and the figure is given in the question itself. So this is the figure given to us, that is this is the ladder or the bar AB, which is 10 meters long, and the weight of the bar AB is 280 newtons, whereas weight of the block is 400 newtons. Okay, so we have to calculate the force P required to start the motion of the block, and also the coefficient of friction between all the forces is given as 0.4. Since we have two materials here in this figure, that is we have one material, this is the slope 3:4 given to us. So this is one material, and weight of this bar AB will act in downward direction, and weight of the bar is how much given to us? 280 newtons it is given. Along with that, the weight of the block, this block, or else will show in the center, always weight act at the center, right? So weight of the block is given as 400 newton, right? So weight of the block is 400 newton, length of the bar is 10 meters, and length of the weight of the bar is 280 newtons. So whenever you get two different bodies of different weights, then you have to split the problem into two parts. That is, first you have to consider the independent part, then secondly we have to consider another part, that is dependent part. So here in this problem you can see that the 10 meter bar is independent when compared to the block of 400 newton of weight 400 newton. Why? Because the bar AB is resting on block on this block, okay, this block. So we'll first take down the bar AB, then separately we'll take down the next part, that is 400 Newton block, to calculate the force P. Fine. So before going to the problem, we'll note down what are the things given to us in the question. That is weight of the bar, weight of bar given to us as 280 meters, then length of bar is equal to 280 newtons, then length of the bar is 10 meters, weight of the block, weight of block is equal to 400 Newton, then coefficient of friction, that is we denote it with small f, is equal to 0.4. Coefficient of friction is 0.4 at all contact surfaces, all contact surfaces. Fine. So coefficient of friction is given to us. Now what we have to do, we have to take down the independent bar. We have to take down first independent bar. Okay, I'll draw the bar AB here. So before that, what is the angle given to us here? This is 3 and this is 4. So if this angle, if we consider this as theta, this also will be theta, right? So from this triangle, this is 3, 4 and theta. So what will be tan theta? Tan theta is equal to height by base, right? 3 by 4. So that implies theta is equal to tan inverse of 3 by 4. So theta is equal to 36.86 degrees. You will get the value of theta as 36.86 degrees. Fine. Now we will consider the bar AB first, then we will consider the block again. Okay. So I'll draw the bar AB. AB bar is inclined, isn't it? So this is the bar. I am drawing the free body diagram of bar AB. This is A, this is B, and what are the reactions we'll get? See here, this is 10 meters, this distance is 10 meters, right? This distance is 10 meters you got. Right. Since it is hinged at B, it has mentioned that it is hinged at B. So what happens if the point is hinged? Then at hinge support we'll be having two reactions, right? One reaction will go in horizontal direction and another reaction will go in vertical direction. So we'll write here HB, or else you can write here, since it is reaction, so I can write here RBX, that is reaction at B in X direction. Then similarly I'll write here RBY, reaction at B in vertical directions. So it is hinge support, so no friction will be there, only reactions will be coming over there. Okay. Then weight of the bar. What is the weight of the bar? Always, since if the bar is inclined, then always the weight will act in downward direction only, isn't it? So the weight of the bar is 280 Newton and it will go exactly in downward direction, and also it will be acting in the center, right? So the next thing is, we'll be having, since it is fixed here it is resting on the block, so we'll be having reaction, we'll be having a normal reaction NA at point A, normal reaction at point A, and because of the weight, the bar AB will try to move in which direction? Left direction. This part will move in this part, especially this part will move in which direction? It will move in left direction, so that the frictional force will act in right side direction, that is Fa. Frictional force will act in this direction. Understood? Right. So by observing the figure, how many unknown forces are there? We have Fa, which is unknown, Na is unknown, then we have again Rby and Rbx, which are unknown forces, isn't it? So we have to calculate all those forces now. So how to calculate that one? Simply we have to take down sigma x is equal to 0. First what we have to do? Sigma x is equal to 0. So you can see here how many horizontal forces are there. Horizontal forces are Fa and Rbx, isn't it? So Fa is going in right side direction and Rbx is going in negative x direction. This is Rbx is equal to 0. Instead of Rbx, we can write here Rbx is equal to, I'll take Hb, and Rby is equal to, I'll take Vb for convenience. So Fa is equal to, I can write here Rbx, or Fa is equal to Hb. You can write like this also, right? So Fa is equal to Hb. We got this one. Next is, we will name this as equation number 1. Next equilibrium condition we have is sigma y is equal to 0. So how many vertical forces we have here? We have Na, vertical force, 280 Newton, vertical force. Similarly, Rby is also a vertical force. So Na is going in upward direction, Na is going in a positive y direction. Then we have minus 280 Newton, which is going in downward direction, that is why minus, plus Rby, y plus Rby, it is going in upward direction, is equal to 0. There is no any other vertical force. So instead of again here Rby, I'll write here Vb, right? So we'll write here Na minus 280 plus Vb is equal to 0. So Rby and Vb both are same, isn't it? So we can simplify this one by Na plus Vb is equal to 280 Newtons. We'll name this also as equation number 2. Equation number 2. Right. Next, what is the next thing we have? We have moment of all forces about point B or A is equal to 0. Right. Sigma x is over, sigma y is over, then sigma m. Now you have to select the point very carefully. That is, if you select moment of all forces about point A is equal to 0, then what happens? Na and Fa will become 0, isn't it? So that is why what I will do, I will select moment of all forces about point B is equal to 0. Okay, moment of all forces about point B now is equal to 0. Now while considering this one, so what we have to do here, you see, you have to keep your thumb on point A and see 280 Newtons. As I have told you in the previous class, whenever you want this horizontal distance, this is the force passing, right? This is the force, line of action of force. So this distance is how much? Suppose for example, this is my right angle triangle, okay, and this is 5 meters, or let us say 10 meters only. So what happens? This is y and this is x. I don't know this distance. If this is theta, okay, if this is theta, then what happens? My cos theta will be equal to how much? Cos theta is equal to adjacent by hypotenuse, that is x by 10. That implies my x coordinate will be 10 cos theta. Similarly, my y coordinate will be 10 sin theta. Okay. So similarly here also, this force is acting exactly at the center, that is at 5 meters, and this angle we have calculated just now, that is this is 36.86 degrees. So what happens here? Force is going in clockwise direction, so 280 into 5, we want horizontal distance, 5 into cos 36.86, that is one force. Then we have RBY, which is going in anti-clockwise direction, so RBY, as I told you, we will take RBY as VB, okay? So minus VB into horizontal distance, again this is the line of action of force, right? This is line of action of force. So what will be the total distance from here, from this point to this point, from till point A? It will be VB into 10 cos 36.86 degrees. Then we have another force, that is RBX. RBX, we have considered RBX as HB. Again HB is also going in anti-clockwise direction. HB minus HB, this is the line of action of force, again this is the line of action of force. So what will be the vertical distance? Vertical distance, as I told you, minus HB into 10 sine 36.86 degrees is equal to 0. Okay, if you do sigma moment of all forces about point B is equal to 0, then what happens? Moment of all forces about point B, right? So moment of all forces about point B means you have to take down these distances. Instead of HB, we'll take moment of all forces, that is NA. Force is going in clockwise direction. Force into perpendicular distance, horizontal distance is 10 cos 36.86 degrees. Then we have FA, which is going in anti-clockwise direction, so FA into minus FA into 10 sine 36.86 degrees. Then we have point load, which is going in again anti-clockwise direction, so minus 280 into 280 is going in a downward direction, so the horizontal distance, that is this distance, will be 5 cos 36.86 degrees is equal to 0. Do one thing, this one. Okay, so if you simplify this one, you will get NA. You simplify this one, you will get NA is equal to, otherwise we'll write one step here, you will get 8NA minus NA into 0.4 into 6 is equal to 1120.4. okay, so NA is equal to, finally you will get NA, which is equal to 200 newtons. Okay, so what is frictional force? Now we got NA, we got the value of NA. Now what is frictional force? FA is equal to, we know F is equal to NF. A, this is A, so FA is equal to, NA is 200 into small f is 0.4. okay, so what happens? FA, that is frictional force at A, is equal to 80 newtons. So in the first step, we have calculated the frictional force and normal reaction which is coming from the bar AB. In the next case, what we will do, we'll take down the block now. Okay, so I'll write here FBD of block 400 Newton. Okay, so the block is resting on a horizontal surface, right? This is the horizontal surface we have, and the block is resting on a horizontal surface like this, right? And what is the weight acting? What is the weight of the block? Weight of the block is 400 newtons, isn't it? Plus, okay, otherwise I'll write down later. Then we have this is normal reaction from the surface. And since the block will we have a force P which will try to move the block in right side direction, so the frictional force will act in negative x direction, that is F. Okay, one more thing we have to add here, that is see, what is the weight coming from the ladder on the block? Na. What is Na? Where is Na? We have provided in the vertical direction. Here actually we have block, right? At this location we have block actually, right? At this location block is resting, so we have not added here. So what we are doing here, Na is acting, Fa is also acting at this surface, right? So what we will do here, we'll add here plus 200 Newton, that is Na, which is equal to 600 Newton. Now the total weight of the block will be 600 Newton, not 400 Newton, because ladder is also resting on the bar AB is also resting on the block, right? Now since the block is moving in right side direction, we'll be having a frictional force, that is this frictional force Fa, which is equal to 80 Newton. In the upper case, we have taken frictional force in right direction for this bar AB, but for this one my frictional force will act in opposite direction to the movement of the body, whereas this bar will try to move in left side direction. That is why we have considered the frictional force which acting on right side direction for bar AB, whereas for block the frictional force will act in negative x direction. Okay, next what we will do now here, first we can do one thing, that is sigma x is equal to 0 or else sigma y is equal to 0, it depends on us. Okay, so I'll do one thing, we'll take sigma x is equal to 0. So how many horizontal forces we have here? We have P, which is going in positive x direction, then we have Fa, then we have F, okay, equal to 0. So P we don't know, minus F also we don't know. Fa is how much? Minus 80. So we'll send this term towards right hand side, it will get P minus F. So equation number 4 will take. Then we have sigma y is equal to 0. How many vertical forces we have here? You can see only 2 vertical forces, that is N is going in upward direction, minus 600 is equal to 0. So N is equal to 600 newtons. Okay, this is, and this N is normal, right? Okay, next we have F is equal to NF. So F is equal to, what is N we got? 600 into coefficient of friction is 0.4 at all contact surfaces. So what happens? 600 into 0.4 is how much? F is equal to 240 newtons. Okay, so now substitute the value of F in equation number 4. Substituting F is equal to 240 newtons in equation number 4, you will get P minus F, that is 240 is equal to 80. That implies P is equal to 240 plus 80. 240 plus 80, which is equal to 320 newtons. So this is how we calculate the unknown forces when we have two different bodies. How many bodies we were having? Two different bodies we have. So different bodies will have different weights. Okay, so that is why what we do, we select the independent body. Depending upon that independent body, we take down, first we will calculate the unknown reactions from the independent body, then we will apply the forces which are coming from the independent body to the dependent body. Okay, understood? This is independent. The bar AB is independent. The bar AB was actually independent. This was completely independent. That is why we have considered bar AB first, then later on we have considered bar block, that is this block. Okay, So the next topic, which is the last topic of this unit, is wedge friction. What is that? Wedge friction. This topic is also important topic. You may expect problems for long answer questions from this topic also, that is wedge friction. So what do you mean by wedges? Suppose for example we have a body like this. Okay, then we have another body like this. Okay, and what we do generally, we try to apply force here to keep these bodies in a same position. Okay, so there will be some friction acting between these two bodies. Okay, that is nothing but these bodies are said to be your wedge, and the friction between these two bodies are said to be wedge friction. Okay, wedge friction. So we'll take down one problem related to wedge friction now. Okay, so the question is, block A weighing 1000 Newton, is to be raised by 15 degrees wedge is to be raised by 15 degrees wedge B, weighing wedge B weighing 500 Newton. Full stop. Assume coefficient of friction. Assume coefficient of friction at all contact surfaces. At all contact surfaces as 0.2. Determine the force P in the figure. Determine the force P in the figure required to raise the block. Required to raise the block. Okay, so the figure is given to us in the question itself. Okay, so this is the figure given to us in the question. So we'll start our solution. Okay, I'll write here the given data first. What are the given things we have given? Weight of block A is equal to 1000 Newton. Then weight of block B is equal to 500 newtons given to us, and also coefficient of friction at all contact surfaces. Coefficient of friction at all contact surfaces, that is small f, is equal to given to us as 0.2. Okay, and we have to calculate this force P. The force P we have to calculate. Okay, and angle between this the angle of wedge is given as 15 degrees. Okay, so again in this case block A is how much? 1000 Newton. Block B is how much? 500 Newton, right? So we have two different bodies here. So what we have to do, we have to select the body. Two bodies are there, so we have to select any one body out of these two bodies. So what we do, we take the independent body first. Okay, so 1000 Newton block or wedge is seems to be independent, isn't it? Why? Because we have the block A is a 1000 Newton block A is resting on block B. So what we will do now, we'll take down the first block A, then we calculate all the reactions and forces which are coming from the walls and surfaces or acting on block A, then we'll move for the next block, that is block B. Fine. So before that, see, we got coefficient of friction as 0.2. So to convert 0.2 to angle, that is, we all know that is tan phi is equal to small f, right? So tan phi is equal to 0.2, right? So what about phi now? Phi is equal to tan inverse of 0.2. So phi is equal to, we will get, if you do tan inverse, you will get 11.3 degrees. Okay, in case of wedge friction, we have to calculate this phi. Unless you don't calculate phi, you will not get the solution. Okay, tan phi, you understand, we got it. Fine. What is phi now? Coefficient of friction 11.3. What is coefficient of friction? That what is phi? Phi is the angle made by the resultant with normal reaction. Okay, very important point. Phi is the angle made by the resultant with normal reaction. So we'll consider this block only. Okay, so now I'll draw the free body diagram of block A. I'll write here free body diagram of block A first, or else wedge A. Okay, so how is the wedge? So this is the wedge, right? Then we have vertical line like this, then we have another vertical line for this wedge, then this is how it is getting joined. Okay, so this is the wedge A, and weight always act exactly in downward direction. We all know that is the weight of this wedge is 1000 newtons. Okay, 1000 newtons. So at this wall, this is wall, right? This part is wall. So from wall we'll be having a reaction coming from there. I'll name this as N1, normal reaction 1. Okay, so once, if you see the entire figure, if you apply force P to the block B, what will happen to block A? Block A will try to move in right direction. Block A will try to move in upward direction. Here at this surface, block A will try to move in upward direction, so the frictional force will act in downward direction. Okay, so this is F1, frictional force. Fine. Now what about at this surface? We'll be having at this surface, so here also we'll be having a normal reaction. Okay, and we all know this angle is given to us as 15 degrees. It is not 11.3 degrees. 11.3 degrees is the angle made by the resultant with normal reaction. Okay, this angle is given to us as 15 degrees. Here it is mentioned. Okay, this angle is 15 degrees. So I'll write here, this is my normal reaction N2. And what about this angle? If this angle is 15, this angle with y-axis will also be 15 degrees. Right, now if my block is trying to move in left side direction, the block B is moving in left direction, so the block A will try to move in right side direction, isn't it? So the frictional force will act opposite to it, that is the frictional force will act in this direction, that is this will be F2, negative x direction. So what happens here, we'll be having resultant, isn't it? Where will be the resultant acting? My resultant will act here. Okay, and this angle is given to we have calculated, that is 11.3 degrees. 11.3 is angle of friction, that is 11.3. Here also we'll be having a, in between F and N will be having a resultant, right? So this is R1 and this is R2, and this angle is how much? 11.3 degrees. So the total angle with y axis will be 15 plus 11.3 is 26.3 degrees. 26.3 degrees. Now if you see the figure carefully, we have resultants, that is R1, R2 and 1000 newtons. So what we can say here, if you take down only the resultants, now another diagram we will draw, that is this one. If you take down this figure alone, again, instead of, we'll paste it here, it's not pasting. So anyways, we'll do one thing, we'll draw the figure once again here. So this is the figure, right? This is the wedge. Fine. I'm drawing once again the figure. Right. So here, the forces which are acting ultimately, the final forces, that is weight, which is 1000 Newton. So R1 and R2 are the resultants. These are the replacement of N2 and F2. So what I will do here, I'll place only R2 here, R2, and R2 is making an angle of how much? 26.3 degrees with y-axis, whereas R1 is making an angle of 11.3 degrees with x-axis. Okay, so these are the three forces acting on this wedge A. Okay, so if there are only three forces acting, so we can calculate R1 and R2 with the help of one theorem, that is Lami's theorem, isn't it? So I'll take down the Lami's theorem here. So I'll draw x and y axis first. This is x and y axis, right? This is x and y axis. So weight is going exactly in downward direction. So weight W, which is 1000 Newton, is going in downward direction. If you see R1, so first you will see R2. R2 is going in second quadrant, isn't it? R2 is going in second quadrant and making an angle of 26.3 degrees with which axis? With y axis. This is 26.3 degrees. What about R1? R1 is going in which quadrant? Just simply you apply here x and y. It is going in third quadrant, right? So it is going in third quadrant. Here R1, and R1 is making an angle of 11.3 degrees. Fine. So we have three forces. This is x axis, this is y axis, right? This is minus x, minus y and minus x. So if you calculate these two angles, if you apply Lamis theorem here, so what we will do, we need to calculate the angle between other two forces, right? So what will be this angle? So this is totally 180. 180 minus 26.3 degrees. 180 minus 26.3, you will get it as 153.7. This angle is 153.7, this angle. Now what about this angle? The angle between R1 and R2. So the angle between R1 and R2 is, first is 26.3 degrees, 26.3 plus this angle is 90 plus 11.3. So you'll get it as 127.6 degrees, 127.6 degrees. Now what about this angle? The angle between the force 1000 Newton, weight 1000 Newton, and R1, that is 90 minus 11.3. You'll get it as 78.7. 78.7. So simply you have to apply Lamis theorem here. R1 by sine of angle between other two forces. R1 by sine of angle between other two forces. R1 whole divided by sine of angle between other two forces is 153.7. 153.7. R1 divided by 153.7. Then we have R2, right, is equal to R2. R2 by sine of angle between other two forces, that is 78.7. Then we have 1000 Newton, 1000 divided by sine of angle between other two forces, that is sine 127.6 degrees. So what is the value of R1 now? R1 is equal to 1000 divided by sine 127.6 into sine 153.7. What is the value of R1 you will get now? If you solve this one, you will get it as 1000 into sine of angle between sine 153.7 whole divided by sine 127.6. So you'll get at 559. 559.28. 559.28 newtons. Similarly, you'll calculate R2. R2 is equal to 1000 by sine 127.6 into 78.7. So you'll get R2 is equal to 1000 into 78.7 whole divided by 120 whole divided by sine 127.6. So 1000 into 78.7 whole divided by sine 127.6. You'll get it as 993. So you'll get it as 1237.69. 1237.69 newtons. You get the value of R2 as 1237.61 and R1 as 559.68. So this is the wedge A we have completed. Now we'll go for wedge B. So wedge B, or else write free body diagram of wedge B. So we'll draw the next wedge. How the next wedge look like? This is our another wedge, right? And always we know weight will act exactly in downward direction. Weight will act exactly in downward direction. Weight is 500 newtons. Okay, we have one force which is acting from here, that is P. Okay, so here we'll be having again another reaction, that is N3. So since the block is moving in left side direction, so the frictional force will act in right side direction. This is F3. Then at this surface we'll be having at this surface we'll be having another block, right? So weight of the block will also act. At the same time, frictional force will also act here. Okay, since the block is moving in, the reaction will come exactly perpendicular to the direction, that is R1. Here we have taken R2, right? We have taken R2 here. So one is weight, another is R1, which is equal to, we have taken R2, sorry, which is equal to 1237 newtons, right? So now reaction here will act exactly at the perpendicular to the surface of contact, right? This one, this angle is 15 degrees with x-axis. So what about this one? This angle will be, I will place it here. So what about this angle? This angle, vertical angle, will be again 15 degrees only. This angle will be 15 degrees. This is my N2. What about frictional force? Since the block is moving in left side, so the frictional force will act in this direction. This will be F2. So F2 is there. So what about R2? This is R2, and R2 actually will come exactly here. Okay, and this angle we have as 11.3 degrees. So the total angle from R2 to y axis will be 26.3 degrees. Okay, so here also at N3 and F3 will be having R3, which will make an angle of 11.3 degrees with normal reaction, 11.3 degrees. Okay, so once we get all the forces, that is R2 and R3, what we do, we consider only the resultant, that is we will consider only these forces. So F2 will remove, F2, and all these things will remove, and even N2 also we will remove. Okay, so what happens, how many forces are there again here? We have P, unknown force, again totally 4 forces are there. So we cannot apply Lami's theorem here. So what we have to do, we have to go for sigma x, sigma y, and sigma z, or sigma m. Okay, sigma x is equal to 0, I will write here. So we'll be having how many horizontal forces we have here? See here, this will be R3x, and this will be R3y. Similarly, this will be R2x, and this will be R2y. So how many forces are there, horizontal forces? Horizontal forces are R3x plus R2x minus P is equal to 0, right? So what is R3x R3? Since the angle is with y-axis, so it will be cos 11.3, cos 11.3 plus R2. Again the angle is with y-axis, so x component will be sine 11.3. Here also sine 11.3 minus p is equal to 0. Equation number 1. Okay. Otherwise, we'll simplify this one. We have the value of R2, right? So R3 sine 11.3, sine 11.3, you will get it as 0.195, 0.195. So we'll take down the values. To simplify this one, we'll get the values of sine 11.3 is 0.195 plus what is the value of R2? Value of R2 we have calculated, that is R2 is 1237.69 into sine 11.3. 1237.69 into sine 11.3. You'll get it as 242.52. 242.52 is equal to p. We'll send this term towards right hand side. Okay, so we cannot simplify this equation further, so here we'll name it as equation number 1. Now next we'll go for sigma y is equal to 0. Sigma y is equal to 0, if you do, how many vertical forces we have here? R2 y, which is going in downward direction, so minus, plus R3y, again it is going in upward direction, minus 500, okay, is equal to 0. So minus R2y, R2 is, what is the value of R2? R2, I will write here minus R2 cos 11.3 plus R3y, R3y is cos 11.3 again minus 500 is equal to 0. Okay, what is the value of R2? We have value of R2 is 12376, right? 7.69. So if you solve this one, 1237.69 into cos 11.3, you will get it as 1213.69. so this is minus 1213.69 plus cos 11.3. Cos 11.3 is how much? We'll keep it as it is, R3 into cos 11.3, okay, is equal to 500. So R3 is equal to 1213.69. Send this term towards the right hand side, plus 500 whole divided by cos 11.3. So what is the value of R3 you will get? You will get the value of R3 as 1213.69 plus 500 divided by cos 11.3. You will get it as 1747. R3 you will get it as 1747.56 Newton. Now you substitute the value of R3 in equation number 1, you will get the value of P. Okay, substituting value R3 is equal to 1747.56 in equation number, what is the equation number we have given? The equation number 1. So equation number 1, that is R3 into 0.195. This is equation number 1, 0.195 0.195 plus 242.52 plus 242.52 is equal to P. So substitute the value of R3 here, 1747.56. So 1747.56 into 0.195, you'll get it as 340. 340 plus 242.52 is equal to P. So P is equal to 340 plus 242.52, we'll get it as 583 newtons. So the final value of P is 583 newtons. So this is how we calculate unknown forces with the help of sigma x and sigma y. Also, we have to break down the problem in two parts. First, we have to consider for block A, then we have to consider for block B. Right? Thank you.